I still remember the day my old friend Joe told me, "Walter, you're a fool for giving up on your dreams." His words cut deep, and I've carried that guilt with me for decades. I often wonder what my life would be like if I had listened to my own heart instead of the voices of others. My name is Walter. I'm 78 years old, and today I want to share with you a lesson that has taken me a lifetime to learn. Everything they told you about success is a lie. Growing up in a small town in Ohio in the 1950s, I always felt like I was meant for something more. I had big dreams of becoming a writer, of traveling the world and telling stories that would inspire people. But my parents, they had other plans for me. They wanted me to take over the family business, a small hardware store that had been in our family for generations. I remember my father saying, "Walter, this is a sure thing, a steady income, a safe future." But I was young and restless, and the thought of being stuck behind a counter for the rest of my life was suffocating me. I tried to please my parents, I really did. I worked hard at the store, learning everything I could about running a business. But my heart wasn't in it. I would often sneak away to the local library, devouring books on writing and literature. I even started writing my own stories, hiding them away in a secret journal. But my parents, they saw my writing as a hobby, a waste of time. They told me to focus on the business, to be practical. And I listened. I listened because I wanted to make them proud, because I wanted to be a good son. But here is what I never told anyone. I was miserable. I felt like I was living a lie, like I was trapped in a life that wasn't mine. I would often drive out to the countryside, feeling the wind in my hair, and imagine what it would be like to be free, to be a writer, to travel, to live life on my own terms. But I never had the courage to take the leap. I was afraid of failing, of disappointing my parents. So I stayed, stuck in a life that was slowly draining the life out of me. It wasn't until my mid-30s, when my father passed away, that I realized I had made a terrible mistake. I was stuck in a business I didn't love, with a family that was falling apart. My marriage was struggling, my kids were growing up too fast, and I was left with a sense of regret that I couldn't shake. I felt like I had wasted my life, like I had let my dreams slip away. And that's when it hit me. Everything they told me about success was a lie. Success isn't about money or status or security. It's about living a life that's true to who you are. But here is what I never told anyone. It took me decades to come to terms with my mistake. Decades of feeling like a failure, of wondering what could have been. I struggled with depression, with anxiety, with feelings of inadequacy. But slowly, I started to rebuild. I started writing again, started pursuing my passion. And you know what? It wasn't too late. I may not have become a famous writer, but I found a sense of purpose, a sense of fulfillment that I had been missing my whole life. Now, I look back on my life, and I see the journey I've been on. I see the twists and turns, the mistakes and the triumphs. And I realize that it's never too late to change course, to pursue your dreams. Don't get me wrong, it's scary, it's uncertain, but it's worth it. Because the alternative, living a life that's not yours, is a kind of death. A slow, quiet death of the soul. And that's what Joe was talking about that day when he said I was a fool for giving up on my dreams. He was right, I was a fool. But I'm not a fool anymore. I've learned my lesson, and I want to pass it on to you. Don't listen to the voices of others. Don't chase after someone else's idea of success. Listen to your own heart. Chase your own dreams. It's never too late. It's never too early. Just start. I still think about Joe's words, and I realize that he was right. I was a fool, but I'm not anymore. And if you're feeling stuck, feeling trapped, feeling like you're living a life that's not yours, just know that you're not alone. And if you want to hear more stories, more lessons from an old man who's been around the block a few times, then subscribe to my channel. I've got a whole collection of stories, each one a thread in the intricate tapestry of my life, and I'm eager to share them with you. But for now, let's go back to that old man, the one who changed my perspective on life. His name was Jack, and he was a retired mechanic who had spent his life working on cars, fixing broken engines, and bringing old vehicles back to life. But more than that, he was a master of fixing broken people, of bringing hope back to those who had lost their way. I met Jack at a crossroads in my life, when I was feeling lost and uncertain about my future. I had just graduated from college, but I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I felt like I was drifting aimlessly, without a sense of purpose or direction. That's when I stumbled upon Jack's small mechanic shop, tucked away in a quiet corner of town. I had taken my car in for a routine tune-up, but what I got was so much more than just a fixed engine. Jack took one look at me and saw right through to my soul. He saw the confusion, the fear, and the uncertainty that was eating away at me. And with a warm smile he said, "Kid, you're lost, aren't you?" I was taken aback by his perception, but I nodded sheepishly, feeling a sense of vulnerability that I hadn't experienced in a long time. Jack nodded knowingly and said, "I've been there too, kid. We all have. But the thing is, getting lost is not the problem. The problem is staying lost." Over the next few weeks, I found myself returning to Jack's shop again and again, not just to work on my car, but to work on myself. Jack would tell me stories about his own life, about the struggles he had faced and the lessons he had learned. He taught me about the importance of resilience, of perseverance, and of never giving up on my dreams. And slowly but surely, I began to find my way again. I started to see that the path ahead of me was not set in stone, that I had the power to create my own destiny. But Jack's greatest lesson to me was about the power of forgiveness. He told me that holding on to grudges and past hurts was like carrying a heavy weight on my shoulders, a weight that would only slow me down and prevent me from moving forward. He taught me that forgiveness was not about forgetting, but about releasing the negative emotions that were holding me back. And as I began to practice forgiveness, I felt a weight lifting off my shoulders, a sense of freedom that I had never experienced before. As I look back on my journey, I realized that Jack was more than just a mentor to me. He was a guardian angel, a wise and compassionate guide who helped me navigate the twists and turns of life. And his legacy lives on in me, a reminder that I am not alone, that there are people out there who care, who understand, and who are willing to help. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling lost, just know that you're not alone. There are people like Jack out there, people who are willing to lend a helping hand, to offer a listening ear, and to guide you back onto the path. And if you're lucky, you might just find your own Jack, someone who will change your life forever. As I reflect on Jack's story, I'm reminded of the countless individuals who have been touched by his kindness and generosity. People from all walks of life, each with their own unique struggles and challenges, have found solace in his words and actions. He has a way of making everyone feel seen and heard, of validating their emotions and experiences. And it's this sense of validation that has allowed so many to open up and share their own stories, to find the courage to be vulnerable and authentic. I think about the young woman who was struggling to come to terms with the loss of her loved one, and how Jack's words of comfort and support helped her to find a way to heal. I think about the man who was on the brink of giving up, who felt like he'd lost his purpose and direction, and how Jack's guidance and mentorship helped him to find a new path forward. And I think about the countless others who have been inspired by Jack's story, who have found the strength and resilience to keep going, even in the darkest of times. As I look back on my own journey, I realized that I was one of those people who was feeling stuck and lost. I had lost my way, and I didn't know how to find my path again. But then I met Jack, and everything changed. He saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself, a spark of potential and possibility. And he fanned that spark into a flame, encouraging me to take risks and pursue my dreams. Through Jack, I learned the value of kindness and compassion, of empathy and understanding. I learned that even in the toughest of times, there is always hope, always a way forward. And I learned that I didn't have to face my challenges alone, that there were people like Jack who would stand by me, who would support me, and guide me every step of the way. As I share Jack's story with you, I hope that you'll find inspiration and comfort in his words and actions. I hope that you'll realize that you're not alone, that there are people out there who care about you, who want to help you, and who want to see you succeed. And I hope that you'll find the courage to reach out, to ask for help, and to accept the support and guidance that's available to you. Because the truth is, we all need help sometimes. We all need someone to lean on, someone to talk to, and someone to guide us back onto the path. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to be vulnerable. And it's okay to not have all the answers. That's where people like Jack come in, people who have been through their own struggles and challenges, and who have come out the other side with wisdom, compassion, and understanding. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling lost, just know that there is hope. There are people like Jack out there, people who will listen to you, who will support you, and who will guide you back onto the path. And if you're lucky, you might just find your own Jack, someone who will change your life forever. Someone who will help you to find your way, to discover your purpose, and to live a life that is authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling.